Reports from Mozambique indicate that President Filipe Nyusi has been evacuated from the capital, Maputo, to Vilanculos, a resort town similar to Victoria Falls, due to escalating protests. These demonstrations have been intensifying following allegations of election rigging. The protests have been marked by violent clashes between Mozambican citizens and the police, who have been accused of using excessive force. The situation in Mozambique has become increasingly tense after media reports suggested that the recent presidential election was manipulated. This has led to weeks of protests that have grown more violent over time. Renowned Zimbabwean investigative journalist Hopewell Chinono reported news coming out of Mozambique is that President Filipe Nyusi has been airlifted from Maputo to Vilanculos after another morning of heavy protests. The protests have seen Mozambicans in Maputo clashing with police forces, who have responded with force. The unrest follows claims that the October 9 election was rigged in favor of the ruling Frelimo Party's candidate, Daniel Chapo. Opposition parties and observers have challenged the election results, leading to widespread demonstrations. Professor Adriano Nuvanga commented on the situation, stating, "Mozambicans don't go to church after a rigged election." This reflects the deep dissatisfaction and distrust among the population regarding the electoral process. The protests have not only resulted in violent confrontations but have also had significant impacts on the country's economy. President Nyusi acknowledged in a State of the Nation address that the demonstrations are negatively affecting economic activities, including those of companies and ports, which in turn increases unemployment. Despite these challenges, Nyusi has called for dialogue with all presidential candidates to seek a resolution to the ongoing crisis. Human rights organizations have raised concerns about the Mozambican police's response to the protests. There are reports of live ammunition being used against demonstrators, resulting in numerous casualties. Human Rights Watch reported that at least 10 children were killed and many others injured during these confrontations. The Mozambican government's use of force has drawn international criticism, with calls for accountability and investigations into these incidents. As tensions continue to rise, security forces have been heavily deployed throughout Maputo and other affected areas to maintain order. The situation remains volatile, with ongoing clashes between protesters and security forces. The international community is closely monitoring developments in Mozambique as efforts are made to address the political unrest and restore peace. The Mozambican government faces significant pressure both domestically and internationally to address the grievances of its citizens and ensure a fair resolution to the electoral dispute. As President Nyusi prepares to step down in January, his administration's handling of this crisis will likely have lasting implications for Mozambique's political landscape.